Hi there, today we're going to talk about the Apple's iPhone launch, and we're going to do that from a product marketing perspective. And I'd like to point out that all of the opinions expressed in this video are my own opinions and they may not be shared by anyone else. So, let's say you have a meeting with a VC company. Well, then you better be prepared to answer the following types of questions.
Where is your business plan?
And what's your differentiation, your competitive edge?
What is your window of opportunity here?
Yeah, but there's nothing strange about this. I mean, if people are to invest in your ideas, then of course you need to be able to articulate their potential market value. Well then, imagine that you were working for Apple and you had such a meeting back in 2007, seeking funding to develop your first iPhone. Wouldn't that go down in the following way? Our company is going to create and launch a mobile phone, and we need funding.
Have you ever created one before?
No, ma'am. Will it have a 7-megapixel camera to beat the competition's 5 megapixels? No, it will actually only be 2 megapixels.
Will it have forward compatibility to the upcoming super fast 4G mobile internet standards?
No, it will actually only be Edge, so it will actually be slower than what the competition is offering.
Are you crazy? You want money to build a mobile phone?
But you have never built one in your entire life.
Correct.
And you will be fighting super big companies that have done these things for decades.
Correct.
And the camera will be inferior to the competition, and it will have a slower mobile data speed.
Yes, the competition will have better cameras and faster internet speed. This is actually deliberate, so we can make more money.
Get out of here.
Yeah, well at that time, piggybacking on the success of its iPod, Apple probably did not have to ask neither any VC nor the shareholders for money. And if they had needed to, they would most likely have gotten it, just because Apple is Apple. For many other companies, however, the mobile phone ambition would most likely have ended here. So how could Apple do this? Going from zero to market domination? Causing all those big companies to shudder of fear? And in such a competitive market, lacking all the engineering history the other companies developed over decades to build mobile phones. It is a textbook example of rock-solid product marketing and high-stakes risk-taking. Let me walk through my take on it. Back in 2006, there were two primary functions that drove the competition in the development of mobile phone. How fast the mobile internet speed was, and how many megapixels the camera could support. And then of course price, which is always a factor when competition exists. Let's refer to these as the dimensions of competition. So, one phone vendor could for example create a phone that scored 3 on the camera function and 3 on the mobile internet speed at price class 2. Huge success, hopefully. But then the competition would counterattack that model by releasing a mobile phone with, for example, score 5 on the camera function and 4 on the mobile internet speed at price class 1. Wow, the customer said. That model has a better camera and it's cheaper. Obviously a winner. In product marketing lingo, this is called the red ocean. We have a set of companies that are all competing on the same dimensions of improvements, and those dimensions are very well known to everyone. This is cutthroat competition, a bleeding edge battle where everyone gets hurt. The ocean has sharks, piranhas, big fish that all love to eat. And if you're a small startup company, which gives you at best the size and ferociousness of a personal aquarium goldfish, and you choose to jump into this ocean and compete in this market, or say ecosystem, you will become dead. And another thing that made this ocean even bloodier is that most components the phone manufacturers used came from the same source. Which of course makes sense. I mean, if you're a phone manufacturer, you of course want to have the best selection of the camera component, so you buy it from somebody that knows how to make cameras. You don't create your own camera making department. How would you be capable of creating a camera that was better than a company already specializing in that? This type of module, the camera, is an excellent example of the modularization or commoditization process, something brilliantly described in Innovative Solution by Clayton Christensen and Michael Rayner. So we now have this picture. The big companies in the red ocean are sourcing the best components from the same component manufacturers. Then they assemble their mobile phones and launch to the market. Whoever can do it in the fastest way at the lowest cost wins. They will end up taking turns, like even boxers, slugging each other out. Nobody ever wins. Everyone gets a bloody beating. Margins are low, no differentiation exists, no one is ever happy. Enough of that. So let's get back to Apple. Why would Apple ever consider entering such a market? What did they do? Well, they did a Ford. They knew that if they asked the customers what they wanted, the customers would tell them that they wanted a better camera. or a smaller phone, or something. Existing customers always relate to the dimensions of competition that the customers already are aware about. Something they were already being served by the Red Ocean companies. Just as Ford knew that his customers would say that they wanted faster horses, if he would ask them. But Apple had no intention of jumping into this red ocean. It intended to disrupt it, and all the companies in it. It did this by creating, or perhaps more accurately put, highlighting a new dimension of competition. A dimension that the companies in the red ocean and the buyers did not think could be improved much. But it could. Tremendously. This dimension was user-friendliness. With the launch of the touchscreen and its user interface, customers suddenly were fanatically excited about how they could interact with their mobile phone. It was more important than the camera megapixels and the mobile internet speed. It changed the rules of the game. And the competitors were not able to improve on this dimension of competition in the short term. This now isolated Apple from the other companies. It is like it had its own separate universe where it could serve its new and excited customers and where it was protected from all the competition. And here is the mind-blowing thing. The dimensions that previously defined the competitive game, they actually went down compared to the competition. So the camera in the iPhone was, for example, inferior to the mobile phones already in the market, but it sold at a much higher price. How could this be? Remember the statement?
Yes, the competition will have better cameras and faster internet speed. This is actually deliberate, so we can make more money.
Get out of here.
Apple could now start to slowly and strategically improve on the dimensions that previously were the most important ones, completely shielded from competition, because the usability axis was out of reach for the competitors. So after the initial excitement, customers started yelling, "We want a better camera!" And not surprisingly, the next iPhone, that everyone paid for, of course, had a better camera. And guess what? Since the camera, as we saw before, is a commoditized component, you can buy it at the most competitive price on the street. By creating the usability dimension, it could reset the expected values of the camera and the mobile internet speed dimensions, continuing to grow their business by improving on those commodity dimensions. All this completely shielded from competition. The result? Disruption, resulting in the redefinition of the entire mobile phone market. Thanks a bunch for watching.